which if you are chaotic in your internet experience and you cannot like save bookmarks or forgot where you kept all your posts, and so we have a tool which should help you out. And good thing is the tool already has a lot of users, which is 35,000 plus, which is amazing. So welcome Tom from Dewey. Tom, thank you so much for joining today to kind of showcase the product and to everyone in the community, and as well like take some feedback, take some questions, and give them the reality check of how they can actually organize their chaos and bring order to their web surfing. So yeah, thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Karan. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, and Tom, let us know how did this idea pan out with Alex, and how did you guys kind of map this out? And of course, we know Dewey is pretty old. It's one of the first ones to kind of make this happen on the internet. So how did you guys started this, and what was the idea behind it? And of course, I asked this to every founder, how did you come up with the name for the tool?
Sure. So the name is based on the Dewey Decimal System, sort of like bringing order to libraries with lots of books and lots of content. And the idea really started with my own personal pain point using Twitter for many years. I think I made my account probably back in 2010 or 2011 when this service was just kind of getting started. And the moment that they released the ability to bookmark content, which wasn't right away, it was maybe 2017, I believe, or 2018. I started bookmarking posts without really thinking about like what I would do with them. And over time, I amassed a large amount of Twitter bookmarks. But whenever I would go into the bookmarks feature to look at what I had bookmarked, I didn't really get any value out of it because I had to scroll in reverse chronological order to find the different bookmarked posts. At the time, there was no search, there were no folders, there were no way to organize it, and they just kept on like rolling out new features while neglecting the bookmarks feature, which I thought was crazy because so much of the value of Twitter and X now is for the content that some of the creators put out, which you do want to save and go back to. Not everything is ephemeral. So the initial idea that we built kind of like over a weekend at a hackathon was just the ability to pull all of your bookmarks out of Twitter and then be able to run a basic search and organize them into folders and add tags. And that was kind of like the initial idea. Over time, we saw more and more users come onto the service. And initially, we thought this would just be kind of like a fun little toy project, but it wouldn't turn into anything bigger. And then when Elon Musk took over Twitter, you had a large amount of people all of a sudden freaking out because he announced that he was laying off 80% of the staff, and people thought the whole site was going to crash. And our usage spiked at that point. So we realized, okay, there's something more here than just the ability to search and organize bookmarks. There's a certain feeling of like the bookmarks that I've taken the time to save and to curate are my work. They are, in a sense, my data because I've taken the time to curate these things and to save them. And what people were suddenly feeling, now it didn't pan out, everything was fine, and X is now a very stable service. But at the time, what people were feeling was this existential risk of all of my bookmarks, all of my years of saving content is going to go down the drain. And that was unfathomable. And so what we realized was that there was a use case here for saving your data, saving your information. And so over time, Twitter improved the bookmarks feature. They've added the ability to search recently. They added folders. But what they will never do, and what none of these social media networks will ever do, is make bookmarks available for export. That's because they want to lock you into the service. Even exporting your own personal data, like your profile and your likes, that took a lot of advocacy from folks for them to finally allow it. But if you notice, even today, they don't allow you to export bookmarks. And so we think that there's a really big use case there for getting all of the bookmark content out of these different silos of different social media networks into one central aggregated platform that is yours, and you can export them and do whatever you want with them. Obviously, we want people to stay in Dewey's dashboard to organize into folders, to add tags, to run search, and to consume the content that way. But a fundamental core part of our belief is that your data belongs to you. And so we make export available to everyone that's on a paid plan. So you can export to CSV, to PDF, You can export all of the media files, so that's images and videos that are part of the content. And I think like sometimes people don't fully understand that with Dewey, you're not just bookmarking the URL, you're literally bookmarking and saving all of the content that's within that social media post, which is then on Dewey servers and is available to you to export and do what you wish with.
Yeah, so I think you got the pain point which all of the internet has. It's like 100% of the internet. There's no one which like would deny the fact that they have lost. I think almost all the bookmarks are saved, right? Or they can never access it because it's a big list. So how far can you go in searching for that one bookmark which you kind of saved 10 years ago, right? There's no way.
Correct.
From that tweet you saved like 13 years ago when Twitter started, so you have no access to that. All right, yeah, that's a great story, and
So
which
this is
is
one
why,
additional thing, Karan, to add is like take all
yeah,
of that, all of those problems that we identified with Twitter, and then now
yeah,
just compound that by every other social media network you use. Now, maybe you're not on every single one, but maybe you
yep,
use Twitter and also LinkedIn or Twitter and Reddit, right? And now these are all different silos where you're saving content, and then it just sort of like lives in that silo of whatever the social media platform has as like their bookmark channel.
correct. Yep. And of course, you guys have also shifted to other channels in the future.
Correct.
One is Blue Sky, which you guys already are on. So and it's so what do you see? How do you see the pattern in Blue Sky? Because it's comparatively new to every social platform. So how are you seeing the engagement over there?
Yep, we added Blue Sky originally about a year and a half ago. So we're very early on Blue Sky. With the recent exodus after the US elections here of a lot of Twitter accounts moving over to Blue Sky and Blue Sky's usage exploding, we've seen our usage exploding of people now using us to export all of their old Twitter bookmarks to get them out of Twitter, and then just starting to use us for Blue Sky. Now, Blue Sky is like Twitter in the early days where there is no bookmark feature. And so every day we see people like posting on the Blue Sky timeline, when is the bookmark feature coming out? When is the bookmark feature coming out? So what we did with Blue Sky is we invented a bookmark feature. We basically have like a little bookmark icon that we've overlaid on every single post that allows you to pull that content into Dewey. And we've also been in touch with the Blue Sky development team to say, when this feature comes out, we'll be happy to cooperate with you, to work with you. We want to work with the different social media platforms to get the bookmark content out. Twitter eventually made it part of their API. The API is a little shaky, but we imagine the same thing will happen with Blue Sky. We also launched LinkedIn. So LinkedIn doesn't call them
Yep.
bookmarks, they call them saved posts. But we offer the ability to pull all of your saved posts out of LinkedIn. And we'll be doing so with all the other social media channels, Reddit, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. We'll get to all of them eventually. And the last thing I'll just mention is that we've also added in just general like web bookmarks, so the ability to bookmark any URL of any website. And if you have bookmarks that you've saved to your Chrome browser, we allow you to sync those as well.
Correct. And you have also used AI aspect of auto tagging, or bulk tagging all of the bookmarks, which is again impressive because people then they don't have to do manual work. So we'll see that when we do the demo. So how did the idea of AI came into picture for integrating in social in bookmarks? Because it's very tough, right? People cannot imagine that. Okay, can we even use AI into this because it's just bookmarking, right? So yeah, I think you added bookmarks where AI where it was most needed, which is the tagging them and categorizing them into one place. Got it. Cool.
Yeah, for
Um,
for us, consuming your content that you've saved is a very deliberate choice that we respect and we take with the utmost seriousness. And so we wanted to try to avoid just jumping on the AI train and like popping in like an AI chat buddy that you can ask questions. Like everyone's kind of doing that.
yeah,
And maybe
100%.
maybe we'll figure out a way to do that in a way that's non-intrusive. But we really wanted like Dewey to always be your home, your central hub, where you can just sit down and have a chance to read all the things you've saved throughout the
Yeah,
week. And so when we thought about, should we introduce AI? Like, how would we do it? Where it made the most sense for us was to help you save time on the laborious task of tagging. So adding lots of tags, if you've just started using the bookmark feature, maybe you have 50 tags, 100 tags, But for people like me, I have over 7,000 tags, which I'll show you in the demo, 7,000 bookmarks rather. To go and tag each one of those would take me a long time. And so, again, we go back to like, what is the original point of Dewey? We want you to have the space to consume and read that content at your own pace. So anything we can do to make your life a little bit easier and reduce some of the labor involved with organization, that's where we found a way to put AI, which is through the bulk tagging tool that we built. It's not perfect. We're constantly making improvements to it, but we just rolled out an improvement today, and I'm excited to share that I think users are going to get a lot of joy out of.
Awesome. Yeah, let's jump in. Very excited because when we and good thing is, and everyone is commending for it is the UI of the product. It's pretty easy to use. It's not tough at all. We have seen previous products in the same space. It's very tough. Even a bookmarking tool can be tough to use. But yeah, you have made it pretty simple, pretty intuitive. So yeah, let's get into the meat. And if you want to showcase it in your screen, we're pretty much happy to make it live.
Sure, let's do it. Okay. All right, let me know if you can see the screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. Okay, so this is the basic dashboard once I've logged in. I'm going to skip the tutorial part because people can just create a new user and follow our tutorial for creating an account and pulling in all of their bookmarks. But we'll assume here that like you've gone through that step and now you've pulled in your bookmarks and now you go, okay, what do I do now? So you'll notice on the left-hand side, I have a lot of unsorted bookmarks. These are bookmarks that I've not put into any folders yet. And this is just sort of the dashboard. And you'll notice that the view is on row. I can toggle this to be a list format if I prefer looking at my content like that. Me personally, I like the grid format. This is responsive to how wide your screen is. So I think we can even offer up to four different columns if you have a very wide screen monitor. This is generally the view that I use. So from here, you'll be able to notice a few things. One is at the bottom of the bookmarked content, you have the little social media icon here, which shows where we pulled it from. If you want to filter that, let's say I want to look at not my X bookmarks, but just my Blue Sky posts. So I can do that through the left-hand filters, and you'll notice now this has the Blue Sky icon. Same thing with LinkedIn. Take off Blue Sky. You'll see here now the LinkedIn icon. So this kind of like just makes it, again, really simple to toggle through all of your content, and especially to be able to quickly see what it is that if I want to add something to a specific folder, so let's say this, I want to move it and put it in a folder. Do I have one? I'll put it in here in investing. All right, so now when I go to my investing folder, I can see that this post has now been added in here. Fairly straightforward. Okay.
Yep.
All of the folders, these are folders that I've created. We allow you to make nested subfolders. So this is something that even Twitter with their folders feature doesn't allow you to do. Sometimes folders make sense to be part of a larger hierarchy. But that can even be a little bit too much sometimes. So you see I have lots of folders here that I've created. And if I want to collapse them, I can just click the folders and then hit show again to expand them again. If I want to select all, let's say I want to just grab all of them and delete them, I can do that through here as well. So these are like small little improvements that we've made over time to make the browsing experience easier. If you want to expand the content, you just click on that little eye icon. It opens up on the right-hand side. You can click edit and add notes into here that will show up in the future. Okay. And that will bring it back. And then if you notice underneath folders, I had something called tags. So these were tags that I created with the AI tagging tool, which I'll go through in a moment. But let's see here that like it started creating a lot of them that only have a few posts in them. So this gaming one has 2, this networking one has 2, and let's say that feels like a little bit too much. What I can do now is go into the tag section, hover on the 3 dots, and click delete with criteria. So I want to delete anything that has less than 10 bookmarks. I'm going to delete the tag itself. I'm not deleting the bookmark, but I'm deleting the tag. So I'll apply that, and now anything that has less than 10 bookmarks gets deleted. It just makes it a little bit easier for me. Okay, now let's see how the AI bulk tagging tool works. The button is up here in the right-hand corner. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to train the algorithm with just a few different tags so that it understands like roughly the kind of content that I'm interested in. So generally, I would say I save business-related content, science. I also enjoy some art, and maybe we'll say like psychology. Okay. And each of these are tags that you're applying to the AI bulk tagger tool to help it train. I want to limit the number of words per tag, so I don't want tags that have like 10 words in them, so I'm going to keep it at 2. And we allow you to do up to 30 different tags. Okay? So we'll generate a sample set to review. So before it just adds all the tags to all of your posts, you can see a sample set and just make sure that it looks like directionally right. So this was a post about constant striving leaves you unprepared to take advice. Okay, and it's suggesting lifestyle tips. I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and apply to all on tag. Now it's going to work in the background. In the meantime, I can just go back to reviewing all of my different bookmarked posts while that AI bulk tagger is working in the background. We have a number of different ways to filter and sort. So you can sort by what date you added the bookmark, but also what date the initial post was. Okay. And we'll look here, if I do by the oldest, right? I have a post from 2010 on Twitter that I bookmarked, right? Pretty nuts. Any other tool, I wouldn't be able to find this post. It would just kind of like be left out in the ether. So I can also organize it by name, forward, backward, that's fine. And in the sorting options, I can also turn off the different social media accounts that I've connected. So if I want to only look at my ex post, I turn off everything that's not X related. Okay. In the settings, I want to just show you this really quick. Sure. You'll see here integrations. So you can send your bookmarks to Google Sheets and you just go through a basic authorization process. You can sync to Notion as well. So if you're really big into doing a lot of your organization work on Notion, you can connect Dewey to Notion. We have here an auto sync available. So you don't have to turn this on if you don't want to, but if you want us to just kind of work in the background while you continue to use the bookmark feature that's native to the platform without having to constantly like go into Dewey and say sync my bookmarks, we'll do that work for you in the background. And if for whatever reason you want to turn that off, you just go into settings and hit disable. In the connect account section, you can see all the different social networks that we've rolled out and which ones you can connect to if you'd like. Okay. And if you ever have duplicate bookmarks for whatever reason, it does happen, you can just hit remove duplicate bookmarks here. You can also choose to just permanently delete your account or remove all bookmarks and folders, though we hope you will choose not to delete your account. I'm trying to think what else would be useful for this demo. Oh, the export. Let's do the export for a second.
Great.
So if you select a few different bookmarks, yeah, I'm going to select a few different bookmarks that have images in them. When I hit export, you'll see here that I have a few options. I can export to Google Sheets, which if you've authorized that connection, that'll start working. Export to PDF, to clipboard, and then here you have export media. Export to CSV will pull out all the textual-based content, but if there's media associated with the file, in the CSV, it will be the text content, but it will also have the URL of the image that's saved on Dewey's servers, not on Twitter. The reason why that's important, I've mentioned a couple times, but I noticed I didn't say why that's important, is the initial author might delete their post. That happens all the time. People go back and they decide, well, I've written this post, I want to delete it now. If you've bookmarked just the URL, well, you're sort of like out of luck. You can't retrieve that content anymore. So with Dewey, because we're backing it up on our servers, you have access to that content even if the original author deletes it. In addition to that, if for whatever reason you get locked out of your account, you forgot your password, maybe you've been banned, whatever the reason is, you still have access to the content. So that's super important. And when you export to CSV, you'll see the URL on the Amazon web servers that we use. Now, export media will pull the actual image or video file out. You see, I've clicked that and it says we're generating a media bundle. I can go over to the download section here, and I'll see that it's downloading, or it says status ready. Great. Now, when I hit that, I hit download, and now it's going to download that to my local machine. So lots of different ways to attack the bookmarks that you've saved over time from all these different social media networks, pulling them out of silos, letting you view them the way that you want to at your own pace, export them to whatever file format you feel is comfortable for you, and just giving you ultimate control over your own data. That's what we're trying to do here at Dewey.
Yeah, great. And good thing is the folders, right, which you see on the bottom left. That's like accessibility is what's your kind of strong point, because even though we have seen some of the tools which have come before, the accessibility aspect is not good. Even though they can just hit and save the content, but you have to access the content, right, which you have saved. So they don't have the AI tagging stuff. They don't have a lot of things which you guys already thought about. So yeah, good work on the product. How many users have we crossed? I mean, I last we heard with 35,000, we crossed 36, 37 right now.
Yeah, it's about that. Just a little bit over 35,000.
All right, yeah, that's amazing. So how are they using it? Because I think you must be getting like the backend. Are you have daily thousands of people just bookmarking every single second? You like, kind of get that data, right?
Yeah, correct. And people use this for all different types of use cases. So like I said, I enjoy reading business and science-focused content. We have a lot of people that come to us from academia, so people that are getting their PhDs and doing research work, so they save a lot of different research papers. We have people that are really into art and cartoons and anime, like all over. And we see people like coming to this because they want to bookmark content and be able to view it on their own time. And I think like an important distinction between what is a bookmark and what is a like. A like is meant to be public. You're sort of showing appreciation for a post, but a bookmark is meant to be private, right?
Yep.
I may not, and I'm doing a screenshot here, a demo, because I don't mind, and I'm not saving anything risky, but some people want to bookmark discreetly things that are for their eyes only, and they don't want to hit like on things to have everybody know what kind of content they're consuming. And so we do see a lot of users come to us. Some of our heaviest power users are not really heavy posting users. In other words, they may only have like 2 or 3 followers. They don't really post ever. They're what you might call a lurker on social media, and that's fine, right? But they bookmark a lot of content, a lot of media, and they turn to a tool like ours to help them sort of make sense of all of it.
Makes sense. Yep. So when we launched Dewey, right, on RocketHub, there's a big common question which everyone asked, and it was about, okay, you have all the social stuff which is amazing, but do you have iOS, and does it support iOS, Android, and then Windows? Because their thought process was, can I use it on the go, right?
Hmm.
Or let's say if I'm traveling somewhere and I wish to, because many of the folks which they mentioned, they read on phones. So how does it work on different devices? That's how they want it.
So we are making improvements on the mobile version of Dewey, so that when you're using Dewey on mobile, it feels as intuitive and as easy to use as it is on desktop. Now, that being said, most people are not going to be using Dewey on mobile. It's really like meant for, because of all the organization tools,
True.
it's really meant for like a desktop experience. But because of the way that we've thought about building Dewey from the beginning, which is to extract bookmarks from that social media platform, it means that, and we have the auto sync enabled in the background, it means that you can just use, let's say, X or LinkedIn or Blue Sky on your mobile device, as most people do for content consumption and just kind of like scrolling throughout the day, use their native bookmark feature, and then we pull all those bookmarks in that you're bookmarking throughout the day on your iPhone into Dewey, so that when you have a chance to like sit, with a cup of coffee in front of your desktop and actually read all the things you've been bookmarking throughout the week, all of that content has been pulled in to Dewey. Blue Sky again doesn't have the native bookmark feature, so we've had to improvise for that. But generally, the way that we prefer to work is to not change user behavior at all. Just continue to use Twitter X, continue to use the LinkedIn mobile app, continue to use Reddit the way you normally would, and use their native bookmark icon, their native bookmark feature. We'll do the work in the background to extract it into your Dewey dashboard.
Got it. And in my opinion, I think you guys are doing good doing great including Reddit into your system, because if you see right now, Reddit is getting more exposure from the search. If you search anything, Reddit queries and stuff,
I
it's
do it all the
trending
time.
right
Yeah.
now. And then the good thing is there are more better answers on Reddit than on Google search right now. So if I just go to Reddit, I find my solution like in a jiffy. I don't even need to read
Yes.
a blog post.
Yes.
So what do you think about that scenario?
I think there's so much wisdom now in Reddit, like you said, and I do it all the time. I know that I'm going to be hit with just like a bunch of,
Yes.
either AI slop or like overly SEO'd articles when I go on Google, so that if I actually do use Google, I'm just putting in Reddit at the end because I want to get real answers from either people that have experience, that have faced the problem that I've been facing, or people that actually know what they're talking about, right? And you have such an amazing community on Reddit. And then you have that small little icon that says save the post. And where does it go? It just goes into like another chronological list on Reddit to review your save post, and you're probably not going to go back to it. So Reddit is definitely like one of the huge opportunities for us to be able to plug into. And again, just pull all of that textual content, all of the media files from those Reddit save posts into your Dewey dashboard, so that it's just one other piece of the puzzle for your content consumption.
Correct. Yeah, makes sense. Yes, another question was, is it possible to import bookmarks from browsers and other third-party apps, or
Yeah.
is it only for like Chrome? So if someone is switching from Brave or Arc
Mm.
to Chrome, so
Right now,
can they
we
bring?
right now we work with Chrome and Chromium browsers. So, like if you use Arc, for instance, and you're bookmarking on there. But we will eventually get to other browsers as well, Brave, Firefox. I think sometimes like people don't fully realize we are a team of two people, right? Like we're
Yeah.
mostly bootstrapped, two people working on this. So like we're trying to get through as much as possible, but we really do heavily prioritize the features that like a large portion of our user base is going to get value out of. And that means that there's trade-offs sometimes, and we'll have to like get to things later on down the road.
Yep. No, it makes sense because if two people can achieve it, then imagine a team of 10 people. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's amazing. Uh, Another question people had was about more use cases. If we can share about the bookmarks, right? Because we have audiences from like small businesses to agency owners, right, who are running it for clients.
Yes.
So how do
Yes.
you see it? Can they use it for their own business, or how is it possible for them to
Totally. So,
achieve
like,
it?
when you think about like the social media strategy of a small business, right? You have to constantly come up with like new things to put out there if you're a small business, and that can take a lot of
Yep.
time. One really easy content format that you see done on like LinkedIn, on Twitter, I suppose probably on Instagram as well, is like content roundups, where you'll say
Yep.
like these were the five or the 10 best posts this last week about the Super Bowl, right? With Dewey, because you can just like bookmark things and then quickly search them, that makes the time to then create a new roundup post of like the top 10 according to you so much faster than having to like go into the native bookmarking feature, scroll to find that one thing. You can just go into Dewey, type in the search like of whatever it is you're looking for, quickly grab them, and then you can use that in your email newsletters, you can use that in your social media posts. Those kinds of things just get like so much faster without having to rely on AI.
Yep.
And so it still has that like human touch element to it. But we just
Correct.
make the whole like time from like A to Z so much quicker.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, makes sense. So that works. Let me see if we have other questions. Yeah, someone even mentioned about the affiliate links, or the affiliates thinking about how how, how can they like save multiple offers, because many of them are Amazon affiliates, many
Mm,
of them are affiliates of, let's say, ClickBank or other particular offers.
Okay.
So this way they would be able to just save all of these links and offers, and then export them, let's say
Totally.
in a CSV format, in a sheet
Totally.
format,
Yep.
and then run these offers for them. So I think that's another use case which someone mentioned, and I
Totally. I
found
love
it to
it.
be interesting.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot
Uh,
of sense.
yes. Yeah, I think you already covered the question about if Twitter or any original post gets deleted, then you already have a backup.
That's the beauty.
If these
That's
guys
the
have,
beauty of
yeah,
yeah.
correct, correct, yep, makes sense. So tell us, Tom, what's coming next in Dewey? What are you guys working on? Um, of course, we know the platform which are coming up, but apart from that, is there any other feature which you guys are working on in the next 6 months?
Yeah, I think the like our goal is to get to all the different social media network channels. So along the way there's bugs, along the way there's like we hear from the community that we'd really like, this thing to be added, more like quality of life features. But our general kind of north star is let's make sure that we have all the different social media sites. So if you look on our homepage, we have like all the different icons of the social media sites. There's more of them that are lit up. Sorry, there's more of them that are grayed out, meaning we haven't gotten to them, as opposed to the ones that are lit up. We want to turn that around and have more of them lit up as opposed to grayed out. So like the goal is get to all of the different social media networks so that when you go on our homepage, you see like, oh wow, these guys work with every single one that's out there.
Got it. And are there any other social media networks apart from what you have mentioned? Which I mean, I don't know which are more famous. Any what do you
It's a
think of
trade-off.
what do
Like,
you think of Telegram?
YouTube is the world's
WhatsApp.
second largest search engine, but it's I
Yeah.
don't know if you'd consider it a social
True.
network, but there's tons of
Yeah.
people
Correct.
going in and creating their own playlists and saving videos to different playlists. Does it make sense to pull that out? How much of it do we pull that out? Like, I don't know that it would make sense for us to pull out like a 2-hour video and then host that on our server. So we're trying to work through like all these trade-offs, but the obvious ones are like everything in the Meta family, so Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Reddit, Mastodon is another one
Mm.
that people
Mm.
use. We did LinkedIn already. Yeah, and TikTok. TikTok's a fun one. Like when we figure out how to do it and do it well, I think people are going to be really blown away by it.
Got it. Yeah, I think many of the individuals even have the question of importing their bookmarks from a third-party tool. So many people use Raindrop
Hmm.
as one of the tools, and they said I have around 4,500 bookmarks over there. Like you have 7,000 on your
Yeah.
account. So how will that work if they wish to, let's say, switch accounts from
We
Raindrop to
we need to
Dewey?
figure out how to do that well because I'm a big fan of Raindrop. I'm a big fan of My
Yeah,
Mind.
correct.
What's another one that I've liked in the past? Like I've been a big active user of bookmarking tools for years. Like what we need to do is just sit down and really think about like first what kind of export option do they have? Like how does the data come out of there? And then being able to like ingest it into Dewey. So if enough people want it, we'll build it. And it's just about figuring out how to do it in like an elegant way that just feels smooth.
Correct. Yep. So yeah, I think we have covered almost all the questions. Yeah, it was again about Raindrop. Um, yeah. So I think correct. That's it. Yeah. Apart from that, we have questions which keep coming in, and people are actually loving it because many of the people said that they faced this problem about bookmarks very recently. I mean, it's been happening since long, but they realized, okay, shit. Now there's a lot more content on the internet than it was, I think, 5, 10 years ago, because
Hmm.
people have access to internet now. They know how to create content, and with AI, it's becoming just more crowded. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much, I think, Tom, for quick
My pleasure.
showcase, coming up and answering questions of people.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are going strong. People are loving the tool. So yeah, we just get to sell more from our end and make sure that TUI reaches like everywhere and you get more users. So yeah, how many people have come to your site or have signed up apart from, let's say from Rocket Hub? You just kind of went
I
through
have to
this
go
one.
through the numbers to see the latest count, but I do want to
Yeah.
say like we're immensely grateful for you and for the Rocket Hub community. The outpouring of like support and love has just been phenomenal, and we've never done this kind of thing before, so we were not sure like how it would be received, but
Yep.
we've definitely been pleasantly surprised. So thank you to you and the
Yep.
whole Rocket Hub community.
welcome. Yeah, we because a lot of you mentioned that they already know you guys. That okay,
Cool.
they already you were on their radar, but they never focused their attention towards you because they didn't realize the problem unless you tell them,
Hmm.
right? Like you mentioned, okay, you have a problem about saving stuff, but yeah, they never get to organizing it in one place. So
Yep.
yeah, thanks so much for that. Anything you wanted to say before we wrap up?
The last thing I'll say is that we are an open book. Like I said, we're two people. So send us an
Okay.
email to support at GetDewey. Either myself or Alex will get back to you. We generally respond within 5 hours. So like as soon as tickets come in, we just like crank through them. And we want to hear everything, like the good, the bad, what's working, what's not working, ideas you have to improve the product. Generally like all of it. So like just know you have a direct access to the two people, we could call them founders, the makers, the builders, whatever, two people who are like working on this every single day, and we want to hear directly from you, so please reach out.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much, Tom, for hanging out with us, and most
Thank
importantly,
you.
taking your yeah, very very important time for building our product. I know it's like you've been very busy with all of the stuff happening around. So yeah, thanks so much again,
It's my pleasure.
and I look forward to you meeting to you in the next webinar.
Sounds good. Thanks
All
a
right.
lot.
Bye bye, Tom.
Bye
See
bye.
you. See you soon. Bye. Take care. Fuck. It was.